When I was just a boy, my family hit rock bottom. The medical bills were drowning us, and the bank was threatening to take our house. I remember the sleepless nights, the hushed whispers between my parents, and the weight of the world on my dad's shoulders. So, my dad did the only thing he could to keep a roof over my head. Without telling anyone, he sold his absolute pride and joy, the classic vintage car he had rebuilt with his own two hands. It was the hardest day of his life. I grew up watching him polish that old steel every single Sunday. It wasn't just a machine to him, it was a piece of his soul, a symbol of his youth. When I saw it drive away that day, trailing down our gravel driveway, I made a silent promise to myself. One day, I was going to find it and bring it back to him. For the last 7 years, I've spent every free night tracking old registration numbers, calling previous owners, scouring internet forums, and chasing down endless dead ends. 2 months ago, I finally got a lead. But when I arrived at the salvage yard, my heart completely sank. The car I remembered as a gleaming masterpiece was completely unrecognizable. It had been sitting in a muddy field for over 15 years. The original paint was heavily faded and covered in thick moss. The engine was completely seized, and the interior was destroyed by weather and wild animals. Most people would have walked away. But I wasn't leaving without my dad's lifelong dream. I hauled it back to the shop, and we got straight to work. This was the most emotional restoration I have ever been a part of. We covered the entire body in thick, satisfying snow foam. Blasting away 15 years of mud, moss, and neglect with the pressure washer felt like washing away all the intense hardships my dad had to endure for us. Every single time a layer of dirt peeled off, a deeply buried memory of my childhood came rushing back. It was like unearthing a lost time capsule. The interior was a total disaster zone. We extracted pounds of dirt, ripped out the ruined carpets, and scrubbed the vintage leather until it smelled exactly the way I remembered when I was a kid riding in the passenger seat. We rebuilt the motor from the ground up, tightening every bolt with him in mind. And when we finally hit the original paint with the polisher, buffing it to a brilliant mirror finish, it was like stepping straight into a time machine. It was absolutely flawless. Yesterday was his 65th birthday. I told him I had a small gift waiting in the driveway. When he walked out, he stopped dead in his tracks. He didn't just see a restored classic, he saw the exact license plate he surrendered 20 years ago to save our family. He fell to his knees, completely broke down, and for the first time in my life, I saw my hero cry. He gave up his ultimate dream for me when I needed him the most, so I spent my life making sure I gave it back to him.